In communities like East Bristol, local government is considering questions like how can we design safer streets around schools and community centers, and how might we reduce noise pollution and improve air quality? There may not be one right answer to these questions, and we think it's important to empower local residents to participate in the process of proposing and evaluating options so that the solution is evidence based and reflects diverse needs across a community. AB Street has created an online tool that can help residents and planners have a shared canvas for discussing potential street level changes. In this video, we will walk you through how to use the tool so that you can evaluate the current proposals and suggest some of your own. Let's get started. When the tool loads, you'll see a map of Bristol. You can move the map around by clicking and dragging, and you can zoom in and out by using your mouse scroll wheel or your laptop touchpad. You can also use these buttons in the corner to zoom in and out. So the area that we're looking at today has Church Road to the north, Blackswarth Road to the west, Cruise Hole to the south, and it's bounded by Troopers Hill to the east. And so around this area you see different, it's split into different colored areas called traffic cells. And so the traffic cells show you where it's possible to drive within this neighborhood without exiting onto one of the main roads. And so in the corner, we have a lot of dead-end roads and cul-de-sacs where, like, naturally it's impossible to drive from Hilltop View to Greendown without exiting onto the main road and then coming back in. And so most of the cells in this area are sort of these small dead ends, but we do see this large one kind of in the middle with Beaufort Road being the main road. And so the one thing you can do in the tool is imagine what if we put a filter somewhere along Beaufort Road. The consequence is that we split it into two different traffic cells, and so now if you're on the east or west side, you can't drive between the two. You'd have to exit onto Church Road and re-enter. That's what the colored areas called cells show you. To help you decide where you might want to filter streets, you need to understand traffic that is could currently be taking shortcuts through the area. And so you'll see that the roads are colored different shades of red, and for example, Beaufort Road is sort of showing up as the most red. And if you highlight over it, or if you hover over parts of the road, you see a number of possible shortcuts going through. To understand exactly what this means, let's select the shortcut tool in the corner, and then click on a piece of Beaufort Road. And if we zoom out a little bit and see, this is an example shortcut that's possible to take. Somebody could enter through Richmond Road, cut across Beaufort, and then exit across the avenue here. And so whether this shortcut is actually happening in practice or is likely depends a lot on the traffic conditions on Church Road. The tool is making a simple prediction about what's possible. And so we can also browse through other example shortcuts, such as entering from Beaconsfield and exiting on Beaufort Road over here. And so there's lots of variations of shortcuts that cross through this one segment. And you can use your own data about what's likely to happen and what problems you may want to address first. But once you decide that a particular road has a lot of traffic running through it and you'd like to try a filter, you can select one of the types of filters over here. We'll use the first one, and just click a section of the road to put a filter there. If you want to take it away, you can click again and even adjust where the filter is along the road there. Now we're looking at the Barton Hills area of Bristol to demonstrate some other features for placing filters. So let's imagine that we want to reduce the number of shortcuts on Victoria Avenue, and so we put a filter here. You'll notice that this did not create a new cell. So if we take the filter away and click again, you'll notice that in fact Stewart Avenue becomes a little bit more red. And so sort of intuitively, the reason is that if you block off Victoria Avenue here, people may try to drive down Avonvale and instead cut through Stewart instead. So let's just try putting a filter somewhere along Stewart Street to see what happens. You'll see that we still haven't created a cell, and so it's still possible to cut east and west by going on Avonvale. So if we click a section of Avonvale, we get this warning that says actually Avonvale has a bus route running through it, and so we don't want to totally block the street off with like a physical barrier. Instead, we can use something called a bus gate, which uses camera enforcement to only allow buses through. And so let's place a bus gate instead. And you'll see that we still haven't sort of solved the problem entirely. Now the shortcutting traffic has kind of moved to Rosebery Road, and so let's try a final filter here. And in fact, it's not so easy. Now they go to Baden Road. To be a little bit more strategic here, take away the filter on Rosebery Road and maybe try putting one on Hayward Road. And in fact, we're still not done. Victoria Avenue, so it looks like it's possible to take Avonvale and then take this one-way street here. So let's try one more filter and maybe we'll get lucky. And sort of at last, we've found a way to split the east and west traffic and prevent that from happening. But if you look at the filter placement, we've taken 4 or 5 new filters to do this. There's probably a much better strategy to try, and so you can undo these changes and experiment with a bunch of other possibilities to find what will work well. Let's say that we've decided to filter the area something like this. Let's understand now the consequences for driving through the area. If you click on Plan Route, we have the ability to plan a route. Let's say that we want to drive starting from over here and maybe ending over here. So the tool shows us that there are 2 paths. The path in red is showing before we introduce this new bus gate, here's what the route might have looked like. And after we introduce the bus gate, the route in blue sort of detours around it and takes Church Road instead of passing through the middle of the neighborhood. And so this is just sort of course, there are many paths possible. This is an approximation of what people might, or the path that people may drive before and after. You can drag these waypoints around and sort of understand the changes. But for example, here, the predicted time to drive before and after introducing this bus gate should be a very negligible difference. Once you've finished placing filters, you can save your changes by going to the Manage Proposal tool. This will open up a new panel here. You can say Save and give this idea a name, and then you can share this idea with other people by clicking Share. This will upload the proposal that you've made and give you a way to share the address in your browser. So if you take this, copy it, and send it to somebody else, then they'll see this particular filter placement. Please also go to Commonplace and select the final location of the filters that you'd like to see. Please. This low-traffic neighborhood planning tool was developed at the Alan Turing Institute. We'd like to thank everybody involved with the project, especially all of the people testing it through the creation process. If you have any questions about it, please get in touch. Thank you.